Here's the truth the industry profits from. The starving artist isn't a rite of passage. It's a system designed to keep you underpaid. Every month you accept a lowball offer, you're not just making a small mistake. You're actively leaving $10,000 plus on the table by year's end. This is the financial reality for 95% of creatives. Stop letting them chip away at your worth. In the next 3 minutes, I'll show you the mindset shift that reclaims that money for good. Let's begin. Before we dive in, I want to be crystal clear. I'm a financial educator, not a licensed financial advisor. The ideas we talk about here are for educational purposes, to help you build awareness and ask better questions. This isn't personalized financial advice, so please always consult with a qualified professional for your unique situation. Okay, let's get into it. The core of this problem isn't found in your bank account. It begins in your mind. It's a deep psychological conflict that the creative industry quietly encourages. From the moment we first pick up a camera, a stylus, or an instrument, we're sold a narrative that true art is pure and commerce is, at best, a necessary evil. We're taught to build a wall between our passion and our paycheck. We believe that to be a real artist, we must protect our craft from the dirty business of money. We think if we just focus on making great work, the compensation will magically follow. But it doesn't. And that wall is precisely where the undervaluing happens. Because we separate art from business, we never become fluent in the language of value. We feel hesitant, almost guilty, when it's time to state our rate. We justify low pay with phrases like, "It's a passion project," or "The exposure is valuable." We anchor our price to how we feel about the creative process, not the tangible, commercial result it delivers for a client. Remember, a client isn't just paying for your time or your passion. They're paying for a solution, a photograph that sells a product, a piece of writing that builds a brand, a design that captures an audience. So if this deeply ingrained belief system is the cage, how do we find the key? What if the solution isn't a modern business hack, but a timeless principle that history's most successful creators understood all along? The principle is this: your compensation is not a reward for your time or a payment for your passion. It is a direct reflection of the value you create for another person. This is the timeless law of value exchange, and it's the engine that has powered every sustainable creative career in history, from Renaissance painters to modern-day filmmakers. It's the idea that a client isn't actually buying your photograph, your design, or your words. They are buying a solution to their problem. They have a gap between where their business is and where they want it to be, and your creative work is the bridge that gets them across. Think about it. A restaurant owner isn't just buying a new logo. They're buying an identity that makes them the go-to spot in town, increasing reservations by 20%. A startup isn't just commissioning a web video. They're buying a tool that will help them secure their next round of funding. They aren't paying for the hours you spent in Adobe Premiere. They are paying for the result that video creates. The starving artist mindset forces you to have the wrong conversation. It makes you calculate your worth based on your internal costs, your hours, your software subscriptions, your creative struggle. You end up asking, what does it cost? Find me times to make this. But the value exchange principle flips the script entirely. It teaches you to ask, asterisk, what is the outcome of my work worth to asterisk them? When you internalize this, the dynamic shifts completely. You stop being a service provider who is paid by the hour, and you become a strategic partner who is paid for the solution. You're no longer on the defensive, justifying your rate. Instead, you're in a position of confidence, calmly articulating the tangible, commercial impact of your unique creative vision. This isn't about abandoning your art for commerce. It's about honoring your art by recognizing its profound power to solve problems, create opportunities, and generate real-world results. But I know this can feel a bit abstract when you're just trying to price your next project. To make this principle tangible, let's use an analogy from a world we all understand intimately: the world of storytelling. Think of yourself as a film director in the editing suite. On the screen is a scene that took you 3 days to shoot in the freezing rain. It was grueling, expensive, and a technical nightmare to capture. The starving artist mindset tells you that scene has to be in the final film. Why? Because of the sacrifice. You're attached to the memory of the struggle, the sheer effort it took. But a true storyteller, a master of the craft, knows that their personal effort is irrelevant to the audience. They ask one brutally honest question: does this scene serve the story? The audience will never know about the freezing rain. They only care if that moment on screen moves them, if it pushes the narrative forward. If it doesn't, it gets cut, no matter how much it cost to create. The value isn't in the labor, it's in the impact. This is the exact same logic we must apply to our pricing. When you bill by the hour, you are essentially trying to sell the client on how hard you worked in the rain. You're asking them to pay for your process. But the client, like the audience, is only ever buying the result. They're buying the scene that serves their story. So if great art requires us to separate our ego from the outcome, how do we finally learn to do the same with our finances? It starts with a conscious decision to redefine your role. We need to gently let go of the limited identity of the artist and step fully into the power of being a creative professional. The artist identity, as beautiful as it is, often puts us in a passive position. We wait to be discovered, to be chosen, hoping a client will magically understand our value. It treats the business conversation as an unfortunate necessity, a hurdle to get over so we can get back to the real work. But the creative professional understands that the businessation is the real work, just as much as the craft is. It's the structure that allows the art to flourish sustainably. This identity is proactive. It seeks to understand a client's problem deeply, and it views a negotiation not as a conflict, but as a collaborative process to align on the true value of the solution being provided. This isn't about trading your artist's soul for a business suit. It's the opposite. It's about becoming a responsible steward of your own talent, building a financial foundation so solid that you can create your most authentic work from a place of security, not scarcity. Ultimately, the shift is this: you move from being a technician who gets paid for a task to becoming a strategic partner who gets paid for an outcome. You are the CEO of your own creative enterprise. So how do we put this powerful new identity into practice? Let's distill everything we've discussed into a simple blueprint you can use starting today. So the blueprint is beautifully simple. First, redefine your role. You are a strategic partner solving a client's problem. Second, reframe the conversation. Stop pricing your labor and start pricing the outcome. Your true value isn't found in the hours you work, but in the results you deliver. This is the foundation of a sustainable creative life, one built on clarity and confidence, not compromise. I'm curious, what is the single biggest starving artist belief you are ready to let go of after watching this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to read them. If you're ready to stop leaving money on the table and build a career that truly honors your talent, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. This is your blueprint, and we're just getting started.